I want to head to Australia now and catch up with Jaqui Lane. G'day, Jaqui.
Hello there. I'm chuckling listening to that conversation.
Yeah. Do we put them in their place?
You were very polite.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've been told I can't swear, so I wanted to... God, some people are just so blind with loyalty. Anyway, the King's Birthday Honours Awards to Dan Andrews.
Yeah, what a joke. What a joke. It just... And I was chatting with somebody, a very respected businessman who had received an award many years ago, and he was just appalled, giving it to both, Dictator Dan and Mark McGowan, who was the Premier of WA, the two states in the entire world that I think had longer lockdowns than even New Zealand. They get paid mozza for doing their job, and then, within 5 to 9 months of them, bailing out, they get a gong. What a joke! Makes a mockery
I get
of
angry
the
about this. Yeah. I get really frustrated about this. We do this sort of thing here too. I reckon we should ban politicians from getting honours. They're doing their job. They're overpaid for doing it. They're bloody hopeless, most of them. And these guys, I remember crossing to Melbourne a number of times during the COVID era, and Melbourne was burning. Melbourne was bleeding. Melbourne was mismanaged. And I'm sorry.
And you know what? And it still is. I mean, the state debt is horrific. 2-3 days ago, Jacinda Allen, who took over from Dan, really, has now come out and said they're not going to build the 80,000 houses that they promised prior to the election. Oh, of course, what a surprise! And because they've blown all this money on the suburban rail link. That was a brain fart of an idea from Daniel Andrews and Luke Sayers from the disgraced guy from PwC. So, it's still in a chronic state. It's disgusting, and this former premier gets a gong, really? Yeah, not good.
I reckon that we need to. It's not good, and this takes away the credibility. It takes away the credibility of the awards, and that's why sort of ordinary Aussies and Kiwis look at these things and go, "Nah, forget it," and because they shouldn't get them. Yeah, this is a back scratch for the boys. Back scratch for the boys. Absolutely, and then Albanese comes out, in his classic style, saying, "Well, it's an independent thing. They've made up their own mind." Oh, yeah, just how independent is that? Under any independent kind of assessment, Dan Andrews and Mark McGowan should not have been given an award. So no,
independent. Yeah, exactly. So it's a joke. For all of those hard-working people who are real community leaders and who give up, time and money and effort over decades, it's a real slap in the face for them. And we're all just shaking our heads and just saying, how can you let this go through? And Jeff Kennett, former Premier of Victoria, actually wrote a formal letter to Albanese and the Governor-General saying how appalled he was and that it should be rescinded. Of course, it won't be because there's no mechanism to do it, but it's just an appalling state. There you go. How I feel about that.
It's a club. It is a club. I've seen this over here. It is the same as with you guys. It is a club of these well-connected, aloof, out of touch people with titles, overpaid and under-deliver, and it happens again. And New Zealanders and Australians, we just get disillusioned with it,
Yeah, totally. And the very people that they're really designed for, who actually deserve them, it devalues the recognition for them and all the work they do. So it's kind of double whammy in a way.
Jared Hayne, the sexual assault convictions have been quashed. I can't keep up with Hayne's his latest, or which convictions are these that have been quashed, and what's the guts?
Okay, so I don't follow this too much because, bad boys of rugby league, it's almost a weekly occurrence here in Australia. But he was taken to court for, attacking or non-sexual relations with a woman
and it's his third trial, and it's now, so that conviction's been quashed on the basis, I can't keep up with it, and they may now go to a fourth trial. Who knows? But it's a classic case as if you've got, if you're a rugby league player and you allegedly behave badly, if you get the league behind you and their lawyers, they'll keep going till they get you off and get the result they want. So, same week, or different week, same story. Badly behaved league players, not learning any lessons, really.
And maybe the Peter Costello wants to be a league player. Maybe he wanted to do what some aggressive sort of tactics, because he shoulder bumped a journo, didn't he? He put his shoulder into a journo when he saw him, and he's now resigned as Channel 9's chairman. I knew this was coming. You could see it. You could absolutely see it coming. The guy lied through his teeth when he said again, good riddance. Yeah,
and you know what? It was hubris in truckloads, and really, in a way, both Channel 7 and 9 are having a really torrid time at the moment with the badly behaved men in senior positions, whether they be journos or broadcasters or producers. I think probably 4 or 5 of them have had to resign or step down or been stood down because of bullying behaviours and harassment and all the rest of it. And you can see old Peter shoulder charging a journo. You can see where it comes from. This attitude of get out of my way. I'm an important person, and it's rife through the media. And a report came out a couple of days ago that something like 70% of women across the media feel that they're working in unsafe environments, that there's not a clear pathway for them to go into senior ranks. So not surprising at all, really. Boys behaving badly in media.
I have no comments.
And that's all coming, well, not all boys. You and Michael and President Gaelic. Some boys in media, particularly in Australia, and they're being called to account. Really, I think this is what's happening, is that it's not just the media. I think across Australian society, behaviour that was inverted commas acceptable 20, 30 years ago, it's just not acceptable anymore. People have to adopt a different approach.
Yep. Are there others as well in the firing line? Are there some sort of media execs that are clinging on and know that their time is about to come?
Well, I don't keep a list of them, but watch this space. There's 2 or 3 currently who have been stood down or resigned, retired early. And I think really the more that happens, the more that you will see, and it's about time, because society has changed. And I remember saying to Michael, we were in politics together in New Zealand in the mid-'80s. What went on at the Beehive back then, it's not, just would not happen now.
I worked in the Beehive, and I worked in the Beehive in Wellington for 20 years. It was always 20 years, from 20 through to shy of 40. And some of the stuff that went down and happened, and we got away with. There's no social media, and and in the TVNZ newsroom at the time, all the bonking. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought, what sort of industry have I walked into? Is this all right, isn't it? It was all on. I was 21. Is this what's going on? Hey.
Yeah, not far, not so much different from my experience. But things have changed, and they should, and for those people, male and female, who don't want to change, the scrutiny. And I guess media is, media people are more in the public light, given the very nature of what they do, like rugby league players. So, if you're in the public eye, you need to be extremely aware